Today, it's the 4 reasons since the pandemic that leaders are focusing on first-time managers. Now, first-time managers realize that managing their team is way different from what they thought it would be before they got into management. The Authentic Leader Show is the podcast for leaders of managers as they transform their first-time managers into leaders of high-performing teams. Professional development took a backseat during the pandemic because, many businesses and organizations, they were just simply figuring it out. Now, some businesses and organizations are really just now realizing the impact of neglecting professional development for their managers. So here are 4 reasons that I'm finding that leaders are telling me that they are choosing to invest in their first-time managers again. Well, the first reason that leaders are focusing on first-time managers again is that they don't have a strong manager pipeline, or the pipeline before the pandemic has really deteriorated. Filling team members' vacancies aside, investing time and energy in building a management pipeline, it simply makes good business sense. Building that pipeline for managers includes providing support and development opportunities. But it can be more than that. When identifying top performers as future managers, it can be a critical move to provide experiences, to practice manager skills, really before that promotion even happens. And now, as you've heard me say before, star performers don't automatically make effective managers. Give star performers support and opportunities to use management skills before promotion to not only to determine if they will be a good manager, but also if they want to manage it and if they are good at managing or enjoy management process in the first place. Proactively building a strong leadership pipeline as a byproduct increases team performance and, of course, manager effectiveness. It also saves on the bottom line the time and costs involved in replacing managers and or team members who quit or get fired. Now, the second reason that leaders are focusing on first-time managers is that there is an industry staffing shortage. There's no surprise when you hear me say that. I mean, it's been all over the news how difficult it is to fill positions. Retention of managers and team members, it's one of the very best ways to combat staffing shortages. In this work environment, high-performing team members, they just won't tolerate bad managers for very long. And I think that most bad managers aren't really bad at all. Most are doing the best that they can with what they know how to do. Leaders of first-time managers are realizing that learn-on-the-job management is not really a success strategy. As first-time managers are struggling and they fail to figure it out on their own, their team members are also suffering. High performers are ultimately leaving the team. What could have been an effective manager may ultimately be fired or quit out of frustration. We don't want that. And again, it's less expensive to keep team members than it is to backfill them. People leave managers and not organizations that they work for. I'm sure you've heard that before. Having effective managers increases retention of the team and has a direct positive impact, of course, on the bottom line. Now, the third reason that leaders are focusing on first-time managers now is that new managers who were star performers are now struggling. I mean, star performers who were promoted to a new manager role, they're struggling to perform at their former high levels again. And these same first-time managers, they don't know what they don't know. Leaders of these first-time managers, they remember what it was like trying to figure it out on their own. Successful leaders, they ultimately stuck it out and figured it out. But what's the benefit really in struggling and taking the time to go through that struggle? Why not give them the foundational tools, systems, and framework like prioritizing and delegating work, holding the team accountable, making confident decisions, effectively communicating to their team, to their leader, to their peers and others, and establishing relationships with their team. Setting the groundwork for first-time managers leads to increased productivity among the team and the organization. Now, the fourth reason, and the last one that I'll list here, that leaders are focusing on first-time managers is that the organizations, they need more than a manager. Leaders of management teams need more than managers. They need both managers and leaders. Not only do they need their managers to know the difference between managing and leading, they also need to know when to manage and when to lead. Remaining in a manager role all the time does not create a team of self motivated followers who perform at their highest levels. Every manager deserves to lead a team of high performers, and every team member, they deserve to be part of a high performing team. First time managers who believe this make a decision to transform from managing to leading their high performing team. Effective managers are better able to identify and address issues, manage resources, and drive business results. It's your job as the leader to set your first time managers up for success. And you can do that by number one, proactively building a strong manager pipeline. Number two is taking action to address that there is an industry staffing shortage. Number three is to recognize that new managers who were former star performers are struggling and need to set a groundwork. And number four is deciding that your organization needs more than a manager. Your organization needs both managers and leaders. If you're like many of the leaders that I talk to, you just simply don't have the capacity or time to develop your first-time managers. If you'd like to see if your first-time manager qualifies for the First-Time Manager Summit, you can learn more at AuthenticSuccessOnline.com. Our February First-Time Manager Summit, it was a great success. You don't want your first-time manager to miss the next summit. If you can relate to anything that I shared here today, or if you would like to ask me any questions, I would love to talk to you. Put a comment right here and I'll respond. You can also DM me and reach out to me through my LinkedIn profile. You can connect with me on LinkedIn at I am Christopher Jones. You can find more information and get other free resources when you go to ChristopherRJones.com. Hey, thank you for joining us today. Please come back next week for another episode.